Hello and welcome to the 132nd episode of Fur, Fins, and Feathers. Today we're honored to have Annette Rawlings of Wareham, Massachusetts, the past president of the Collie Club of America. Welcome.
Thank you, Brian.
I'm trying to think back. We were young once.
Yes, we were.
You showed under me maybe 40-some years ago.
Yep, that's about right.
And now you tell us about the collie. A lot of people don't know about the collie. Younger people have not seen a collie or met a collie.
No, that's very true.
Tell us about the collie.
All right. The collie is an fairly, as far as dogs go, they're not that old, but the Collie Club of America is one of the oldest clubs in the country. The collies were made popular by Queen Victoria back in 1860. She went to her place in Scotland and fell in love with them and brought them back.
It is a Scottish breed.
It is.
Okay.
There's two varieties. There's rough and smooth. The smooths came about first, and then the roughs.
Okay.
They're a lot different now than they had started out as a smaller dog, a lot heftier, but that didn't work so well for the work that the farmers wanted to do. So they brought in some other breeds to, change the conformation and how they wanted them.
In Scotland, what are they used for?
They're used for herding and guarding. The smooths are more drovers, and the roughs stay with the flock.
They are a very versatile breed, too. We'll get into that in a few minutes. Tell us about the Collie Club of America. This is a very beautiful book you just showed me.
Yeah, this book is kind of like the Bible that people go by. It has the history of the collie, the different dogs that influenced them early on in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and it explains about, care and what to look for, what the standard calls for. There's a lot of great information, and it's been redone a few times. This is the latest edition that I have, but there were two more before that.
This is a very handsome dog. That looks like Lassie.
Yes, it's the sable and white. They come in 4 colors. We have the sable and white, and then you have a blue merle, which is gray with black speckles, and it has the white collar and white legs. Also is the tricolor, which is black with the white collar. They have a mask on their face with tan also, so that's why they call them a tricolor. And there's the white collie that has the sable blue or tricolor head, and they can have body spots also, and that's in roughs and smooths.
It's a breed that lasts for a long time.
Their longevity is between 10 and 14 years.
10, 14.
Yep.
They require a lot of care, don't they? This is not a wash and wear dog.
No, it's not a wash and wear dog, but if you have a good coat texture, it's not hard to maintain with regular brushing. They both shed, the roughs and the smooths both shed. They're a double-coated breed. The only difference is that the smooths have a shorter coat. It's still double-coated and dense.
They are a very versatile breed, too.
Extremely.
We're looking here at somebody who obviously is a show dog, but there are many different ways that collies can perform.
Yeah, so the AKC has several different events that the dogs can compete in. And they do conformation, which is, the show ring that we see at Westminster. They also do obedience, rally, which is, it's a
performance sport.
It's a performance sport. It's along the lines of obedience, a little bit more fun, relaxed. Agility. They have Fast Cat. There's Farm Dog. Luring. There's several different
So
events
they
that they
are
do
a very
well in.
versatile breed.
Yes, they are. Collie Club of America is very pro versatility. We give away a big versatility award at the end of the year that these dogs compete for, and they have to, compete in conformation, and I believe 2 other performance or companion events, and they earn points over the year. And at the end of the year, we have a Most Versatile Collie Award.
Talk about caring for a collie.
They're really not that difficult to care for. You don't want to tie them up or leave them alone. They very much like their humans. You should brush them out at least once a week. Bathing you can do every 8 weeks. Keeping their nails trimmed is very important. You don't want feet to break down and get arthritic. Regular dental care. They're not big food consumers, so it doesn't take a lot to feed them, but they do need regular exercise and attention.
Caring for, they need companionship, don't they?
Yes, absolutely.
You can't just leave the collie at home and negate it.
No.
That's not, you're going to have a very sad and unproductive collie.
Yes.
Okay. Talk about your, now what have I remember you, I shouldn't say this, but more than 40 years ago. What are some of the things you've done with your collies?
I do mostly conformation shows.
Okay.
We'll do basic obedience just so they know how to come and sit. But other than that, I focus mostly on conformation shows.
You were a professional handler?
Yeah. Not registered, but I was a professional handler. I've done well.
And you did very well, and you traveled around the country with your collies.
Yes.
And how was that fun?
Absolutely. It's a great way to spend time with your dogs and people.
And travel.
Yes.
I bet you've been to some really nice places.
I have.
How many collies do you have now?
Right now, I have 9 at the kennel at my parents' house, and I have 4 at my home, which is only about 4 miles from where the kennel is.
All roughs, some smooths?
Right now, we have 1 smooth, and the rest are all roughs.
What's the difference between a smooth and a rough?
Mostly the coat type. We've had a few smooths, and I do find them to be a little bit more active, a little more boisterous, but temperament-wise, pretty much the same.
Either variety excels at performance.
Yes, they do. They do. My first champion he was my first champion, and we won the national in 1992 in Tampa, Florida. And he was a ROM, which is a Register of Merit sire. He was also a ROM, Register of Merit performance. So many of his children were performance titled dogs. So they were pretty
really
and brains.
Hard to accomplish. Very much so.
On a stud dog, yeah, to get both, yeah.
Okay, you have another something.
I do here. This is put out by the Collie Club of America. This is the older version. But it's a guide basically for judges to use in evaluating the collie when they judge. But it's done so well that we've used it for breed education also, and just for anybody who wants to know what they need to know about the collie when they first start out. It's a great tool. It gives a brief history, it gives the different colors, temperaments, and how the conformation.
It's a very good educational resource.
It really is. It really is.
Okay, show
It
us.
starts here. This gives a brief history on the collie, and
All right.
this is all history on the collie. And then it goes into the head structure, form and function, and anybody, this is the general appearance, and this can be also bought from the Collie Club of America if somebody wants to
Purchase it.
purchase it. Yes, it's not. This is an old one. It's in a 3-ring binder. The nice one, the new one is done as a magazine form, so it's very nice.
Where should people go if they want to get some additional information about a collie? A dog show would be one.
Yes, there's several dog shows that are put on all over the country. In New England, we're very fortunate that Springfield, Mass. Allows them to have several dog shows a year. I mean, probably almost every other weekend you can find a dog show. Those are all breed shows, mostly. And then if you want to find someone to get a collie from, a breeder, a reputable breeder, my suggestion would be to go on the Collie Club of America website and find the district director for the area that you live in. And they can refer you to people that they know are ethical breeders, and you can find a puppy or an adult dog that way.
You emphasize the word ethical.
Yes.
Why?
Because
I know why, but
it's a set of standards that people breed dogs to, and they're required to follow. It's not just a backyard breeder that says, oh, I like them, they're pretty, and I'm going to breed a bunch of them and sell them. They're not. Breeding dogs should be done to improve the breed every single time.
and that is very important.
Yes, you need to do health testing and know the conformation and what it's supposed to be. Because even for those performance dogs, if they're not built correctly, they can't perform well.
Talk about their diet.
Their diet is mostly grain. Some people feed raw. Some people do grain-free. It depends on what your dogs do well on. I prefer a mixture of regular grain or kibble with some canned food. I have had some that I've had to do a raw diet on, and just to boost them. But I think sometimes people go a little bit overboard with the whole grain-free thing. Then they found out that wasn't good. It's not good for the heart. So you have to find a balance, and each dog is going to do differently.
It's important for health testing.
Yes. Collies have a genetic eye anomaly, which every breeder should be having every single puppy tested. If those puppies haven't been to a canine ophthalmologist, I wouldn't buy a puppy from there.
And why is that important?
To make sure that there's no underlying problems in the
their
eyes.
eyes.
Yes.
Okay. What else? I'll let you have a little water.
I know my mouth's getting dry.
No, you're fine.
They've also done made a lot of progression in the genetic testing, the DNA testing of dogs, to help find different markers for the different diseases that affect dogs. And this is true in all breeds, not just collies. So you want to find, a breeder that is doing these tests, at least doing the minimal tests. If they're doing the extensive tests, even better. But a backyard breeder is not going to be doing that.
No. And sometimes when somebody purchases a dog and the dog develops some problems, they come back to the owner, to the breeder rather.
Yep.
Excuse me. And a lot of problems develop.
Right. That's what I mean by ethical breeders. Members of local specialty clubs, kennel clubs, and the parent club. You have to sign a code of ethics, and you have to live by that code of ethics.
Which is for any club that...
Yep. Every club has a code of ethics.
Whether it's a kennel club or a specialty club or a national club.
Yes.
Very good.
And I do think it is important to, if you're going to buy a dog, get it from somebody that does show either an AKC or UKC or USDA. They're at least having their dogs judged by someone who knows the standard and what it should look like. You're not kennel blind. If somebody's not making a decision on what you're doing and you're just doing it all by yourself, not usually going to end up well.
So it's important, Annette, for people to just not run in and buy, if somebody saw this on TV this weekend, to run in and say, oh, I want one of those dogs because it looks like Lassie.
Yeah.
You have to do some research.
You do.
You have to speak to reputable people.
Yes.
And it's not a hasty decision.
It shouldn't be. No, it shouldn't be. Most of the people that I sell dogs to have had collies before. They're returning customers, or they're returning from other people that I know that have sold them dogs.
Have any of your dogs come from Scotland?
No, not directly from Scotland, no.
No, but the history is there.
The history goes back, yes, they all do. They all go back to Old Cokie.
And you've been showing, as I say, for many, I hate to say it, but more than 40 years.
Yes, I have.
Where have you shown?
I've shown in California, Florida, of the Midwest states, all over.
Some great places, I'm sure.
Yes, and been successful.
You also, we were going to start talking about Shelties. What's the difference between a collie and a Sheltie?
So the Sheltie is a totally separate breed. They're a more moderate dog. They don't have the smooth variety like the collie does. They are more active. You definitely don't want to leave them unattended, as they need to be busy and have a job, more so even than a collie. But they're great dogs. We've had Shelties. We do have one. Coats, pretty much the same. You still got to brush it out every week. It's a much smaller area to brush. They can do well in a small setting, as long as you take them out. They need to go out and exercise and burn off. They can't, just because they're small.
They're not a house dog.
Yeah, well, they can be house dogs, but they need an outlet.
I mean,
they need
a house dog, I mean, confined in a house. No.
Yeah, no.
You got to take them out.
Not like a Pomeranian.
Exactly.
Yes, you have to keep them busy, and they're extremely intelligent.
Have you shown Shelties?
Yes. Yes, I have.
And that must have been fun, too.
Yeah, I enjoy showing the Shelties. It's fun.
Very good. Plans to become a judge?
I actually just retired from handling and will be going for my judge's license.
Really?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And what are you going to apply for? Collies and Shelties?
Yes, I'll do both at the same time.
And then you'll move on to the herding group.
Possibly.
And then you'll be a best in show judge.
We'll see.
Somebody asked me this past weekend, at a match that I judged. They said to me, "Are you going to continue?" I said, "I'm going to be 70 years old. I think it's time to retire." Never mind, keep going. But you've had a lot of fun like I have
Yes.
with dogs
Yes.
and meeting people and traveling.
Yes,
It's all been fun.
it has been. It's a lot of work, but it's fun.
So you have all these dogs. How do you and have a job and everything? Do you still work?
I do not work right now.
So you take care of your dogs.
I take care of my dogs and my granddaughter.
Very nice.
And we have another granddaughter coming in April. So it keeps me very busy.
Very good. So, this brings us almost to the end of our show. But what advice would you give to someone, maybe not even purchasing their first dog? There's a lot of people have. This past weekend, somebody came up to me and they said, they were at the show and they said, all these breeds, how do we select one? What should we focus on to purchase a good quality dog? What advice would you give them?
I would think about what your lifestyle is like, what you want from a dog, and then work towards finding the breeds that are suitable to your lifestyle. Definitely go to dog shows, talk to different breeders that are there. Any breed that you're interested in, if you go to their parent club site, which is usually a blah, blah, blah Club of America or American Association of blah, blah, blah breed, and find your district director in your area and talk to that person. And they will help you. They will help you find the right breeder or the right dog for you.
And it doesn't have to be conformation.
No.
I met you at an agility trial.
Right.
And people were coming up and looking at different dogs, and they were interested. Some of them came, I've already heard from someone, and he said, I never knew that agility existed. And he said, I found a dog, and he said, I'm going to start in agility.
That's great. That's
That
great.
is just by coming to a dog show.
Yep. Yep. If people come, you either love this or you don't. There's not really an in-between.
And we've known many people over the years.
It takes time and dedication.
And also an expense for a lot of people.
It is. It is. But it's a great hobby. It's a great way to meet new people, new breeds.
When I think back over the 40-some years at the number of people, we have met many great friends.
Yes, we have.
It has truly been an education for a lot of people.
Yes. Yes, in many ways.
I always have a great deal of fun. And I'm learning about, even though I've been around forever, learning about the different aspects of the sport. Somebody had me looking the other day at earth dogs.
Yes.
Something new. Or agility.
Yep.
There are many, many different sports.
Yes, there's tons. And kids can do it too. It's not just for adults. There's always junior activities to bring the kids in.
You were in juniors. Talk about
Yes.
juniors.
Juniors is a great program. It's a great way for kids to connect with animals, to meet kids from different parts of, the state, the country. It gives them a sense of responsibility as far as having to take care of their own dog, be ready, be respectful of other people and their animals, and learn to put yourself out there under some pressure and deal with it. the dogs just help them do that. And it's good for them. It's a great social activity.
And to educate each other, to
Absolutely.
help with each other, and Danny, now, did you start showing with Danny, or was your first dog from Danny?
Nope. Actually, my mother started the CeeLo Kennel in 1971. So I've had dogs. I was born in '68, so I've had them pretty much all my life. I would go to dog shows with my mom, and Danny would go with his mom, and we met when I was probably about 6 years old.
Okay.
So I would, be at the dog shows and see him there and stuff. And he was a bratty boy at that point. But he always came. His sister was more into doing the juniors. He came into it later, but with a vengeance. With a vengeance.
And he did
was,
well.
He was
He did
very
well.
very talented, very passionate. I learned a lot from him.
And from each other.
Yes.
And kids, we've got cell phones and everything, but in those days, when you couldn't wait to get to a dog show to be with your friends.
Yep. It's true.
And I still hear from people, they have developed lifelong friendships.
Yes, I have quite a few. All over the country.
Very good. So it's been a very interesting and very fruitful journey for you.
Yes, it has. And I will continue to do it as long as I can.
And you are going to continue, you're going to become,
Yes.
Are you applying for your judge's license?
Yep, I'm applying for my judge's license. After doing 4 years of presidency for the Collie Club of America, I have a little more time now. So
That was a challenge, wasn't it?
It was a lot of work, but it was a great learning experience. It helped me to understand a lot how things,
And you
happen
met
in the
people
club.
from all walks of life.
Yep, I did.
They are telling me it's almost time to wrap up. It's been
Okay.
a pleasure.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
I haven't seen you in so many, many years. We got to have Danny come sometime.
Yes, you do.
That would be great. It was nice, Annette, to see you again. And thank you for sharing your wealth of information about the collie.
Oh, you're very welcome.
you.
Anytime.